Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 283 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full-time reseller supporting her family. It's Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, and I'm back in my space. And it has me thinking about something my sister and I and friends started saying when our kids were little. If we went away for a day or, we worked a couple hours and came back home, there was always a price to pay, right? When you go on vacation, when you do these things, right? Nothing in life is free, and you have to be willing to pay the price, right? So we would go, let's say if we took like a girls' day or something, and the hubbies were home with the kids, and um, generally we'd come home, the house would be a mess. The kids would be happy, of course, because they got, have fun all day with dads. But yeah, so we would always jokingly, funny, kind of not funny, say, oh gosh, yes, we had to pay the price for it. Like a day off is not really just a day off. And that's what I'm feeling right now coming back. And I'm recording this a little early before I have everything done because I am out of energy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I push this any further, I'm not even going to be coherent when I do the reseller reflection. So I wanted to actually be coherent today since you guys have been putting up with a lot of background noise for the past quite a few days on my videos and less than optimal sound quality. So thanks for putting up with that. And yeah, so I thought coherency would be a good addition along with the sound quality tonight on day 283. And so this launched into a whole other thing. Was I willing to pay the price for going on vacation? I have about 93 packages, I think, to ship, which is a lot. Am I going to get it done today? No, I'm slight edging it. Jill, drink. I am doing them 10 at a time because the whole concept was totally overwhelming. I have some fairly difficult things to ship that I have to Frankenbox or build a box for. So it's not all like quick and easy shipments. So it's going to take a while. I'm down under 50, which was my goal for today. I'm going to push it a little further when I'm done here and see how much I can get done. I'd like to start tomorrow fresh. That is not going to happen, but at least maybe it'll be a little more manageable. Yeah, so paying the price, right? Nothing is free. And they talk about this in the 12-week year, and it is in the context of like when you're developing your tactics. Let's say there's something you want to do for the week, for the day, like you want to list a certain amount, or let's say you want to, get up and walk every morning. And one of the things that he says in the book, and I think it's really something we need to think about a little bit more. Are you willing to pay the price? If your goal is to get up and walk, a couple miles or a mile every morning, are you willing to pay the price? And the price of that is, setting your alarm, getting up, taking time out of your day. Sometimes it's cold and the weather's not, great or optimal for that kind of thing. Are you willing to pay that price? And if you're not, it's not the right tactic for you. It's not something that you should be striving for. And I think with everything, and as we are finishing up our first 12 weeks and entering our second 12 weeks, I think it's something that we really need to consider, or any kind of goal setting. We put these things down, but are we willing to pay the price? Are we willing to set that alarm and get up and go outside regardless of the weather? Are we willing to, cancel a night out with friends if we haven't met our listing goal? Are we willing to work those couple extra hours? Is that something we can do? And maybe it's not. Are we willing to give up a vacation or a trip in order to meet our tactics? So we have to think about those things we're giving up, and are we willing to do it? Are we willing to give up family time? I mean, these are some of the really hard choices that we make day in and day out. But if you can think about them in advance and not in the moment or not in the day, I think it's probably really, really helpful, right? Consider that in advance. So you're not faced with this decision. Am I going to have, go out with my friends tonight? Am I going to have family dinner tonight? Or Is that something that I'm not willing to set? And you revise your tactics accordingly. If it's, say we talk a lot about pulling out that time, let's say you have dinner with your family every night from 5 to 6, putting a block in your schedule. And that's a priority at that time. Do your tactics and do the things, those success steps you do day in and day out, align with that. I mean, these are things we don't like to consider. Sacrifices, it's easy to say I'm going to list $10,000 worth of inventory in a week. But what are the things that you can't do when you are setting a crazy high tactic like that? And we don't like to think about those things. I don't like to think about those things. I like to say, oh, well, family comes first, friends come first, But the reality of it is we need to think about those things in advance. And anytime you set a goal, success step, tactic, you are giving up certain things. And to make that decision, like I said, in advance of setting the tactic is really good. Because if you're not willing to give up certain things and you're pitting, let's say, your family dinner versus your listing goal, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to have to decide. That feels terrible when you're deciding in the moment, or saying, you know what, we can't have dinner together tonight. I have to work. Yeah. It stinks, but that's the reality of it. There's only so much time in a day, and there are these hard choices that we sometimes have to make. But if we make them in advance and set expectations, I think we're setting ourselves up a lot better. Can I take that vacation? Am I willing to ship, 90 plus packages when I come back? Is that something that I'm willing to do? Well, my answer was yes to that. So I'm not going to complain about I'm not going to complain about all the work and how exhausted I am. I'm just going to go get it done, because that is the price that I am paying. And that was the price I was willing to pay for days off. So what's your price? Are you willing to pay it? Let's think about these things. All right, guys, I am not reset to zero, but hopefully, my friends are Jill of Rusted Truck Relics, Jason the Santee Swapper, Judith R, Pam of Whimsy and Such, Becky of Becky Consigns, Lee of Lee Phillips 4191, Vanessa the Diabetic Reseller. You guys go ahead and reset to zero. I'm going to really get some more shipping done, and then I'm going to go ahead and reset to zero. And it looks like a bomb went off in here, because of course you come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to put a new roll of bubble wrap on. I'm out of 6x6x6 boxes. I have to pull those in from the garage. And it's just like total madness, but it's going to be reset before I go to bed. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow on day 284 of Reseller Reflections. Night, night.